Hello guys, welcome back here to my YouTube channel. So we will back again to the FIDE World Chess Championship 2023. So after round 11, the result was in favor of Nippon Nishi, right? 6-5. So there are only 3 rounds left before round 12. Ding got to white, and he obviously must equal at some point. To be able to some chance, right? So here we have some ideas. Let's go. So Ding was white here. He must go for the win. Let's see what his choice is. D4, knight f6, knight f3, d5 again. So I don't know, for me, so I would say I kind of expect the Catalan, but somehow it was once again not being played here by Ding at all. I just don't even know if that can be played later on, or maybe like why Ding don't want to play that. But I guess he just want to surprise the Pomniachi a little bit. E3. Now there comes the call. I don't know, like Cooley. For me, I call it Cooley, but I don't know if that's the right way to call it. Right way to pronounce actually. C5, BD2. A very, I would say, rare lines you will see nowadays. Obviously, it's a blitz game online. It actually is still a good weapon, but you don't see that in some strong games anymore lately. The ideas I can tell you is like knight here, for instance, so c3, and then like here bishop d3, and then queen e2, taking c5 and go for e4. The ideas, in fact, is pretty doable, but for something big like this way, like this match, this comes as a surprise. But Nepomniachtchi said in the press conference that he wasn't surprised at all. cd4, ed4, queen e7 here, c3, d7. This is a new move in inspiration here, and in fact here for me it's hard to understand why this move was played. But I guess it is part of the preparation, and it's also kind of surprising as well. So basically this kind of thing just makes the preparation become not that big anymore. Like now he failed to surprise the Pomniachtchi, right? d3. Now here, Casos with g4. So here you can see, right? Black just moved bishop twice. So Black can play this position even a tempo down. And this one here basically explains that this opening is kind of useless. Like for me, so I kind of like this pawn structures. When you can play to e1, like knight f1, knight e3, or taking in the knight e5. But then Black can always equalize here pretty easily with ideas like bishop h5 and go here to, you know, to the bishops. And then Black is doing very, very well. So in the game, we won. e6 here, knight f1, d6. So here, you know, there are many options here. Knight g3 here can be a thing, you know, for sure. But then I think Black can just play Gassos. So h3, so we take here on f3 maybe, and then like maybe like e5, which I think Black is doing very, very okay. So in the game, let's try. The idea is to see if Black wants to allow the opponent or not. Apparently, Ding must take some risk, right? That's why going for some chances here is understandable. Cassos. Not afraid of the doubling pawns. So here h3 doesn't work, right? I mean, it's not doing things at all. Knight g3 here is fine, but I think I can just play knight h5. And I don't feel this one will be very special, to be honest. And that's why the portion here should be equal, in my opinion. So Ding thought for, I think, around 30 minutes, and he took the knight on f6. So takes, okay. So let's explain things here to you guys a little bit. You know, for some players, some A-level players here, this kind of thing seems to be a bit risky for Black, right? Since his king now get a bit weakened and a bit exposed as well. But the thing here is that there is no clear way for white to bring any attacker to the king. f5, Black can always play here to block the bishops, and moreover he can try to propagate and go for the attack. So that's why he shouldn't be in real trouble here as a result, right? Queen d2 can be a thing here to bring the queen to s6, but black can just play bishop f4, and the idea is prevented, right? That's why here, although the double pawn here looks a bit weakening for black, he's doing fine overall. And g3, f5, takes, h3 first, takes. You see, right? So somehow now the pawn structures here looks pretty cool, but it's not so easy here for white to make progress. Cation here can always be a plan, and c4 here doesn't seem like it's a good thing as well, so there's no way to break through this pawn chain. Also, the bishop here is kind of restricted temporarily, right? So it's not easy. Knight 7. Instead of look in the center, like transfer the knight to g6, where it can defend the king, defend f5 here if there can be some kind of sacrifice later on, or even plan to go like knight f4, knight h4. Knight h5, kh8, g4. This one is a very double-edged move, but obviously for Ding, he needs to go take some rest, so that's why it's very understandable. Knight f6 here is obviously fine with the ideas to go like queen h5, right? But then knight g8 here can obviously be very fine for very fine for black, who obviously will be very happy with a draw, right? So g4 in the game, g8, h1, knight a6. Up till now, he played the first part of the game excellently, and he's in no trouble. The thing is that gf5 here is bad due to knight h4, and queen e3 here, for instance, got the ef5. The pawn got taken back, and now f4 can be a thing, rook g2 can be a thing, knight g2 as well, and suddenly there's so many threats. Rook g1, f4 is sort of fun thing, since now, you can see, right? Black suddenly gets some strong ideas this way, and it looks kind of over, isn't it? So in the game, c2 here, apparently Ding doesn't want to play this slow, but I guess that it's not easy here to make progress. Rook g1 I think is the best choice here, I believe, but knight h4, queen e2, f4 maybe, and it's still very complicated. Back to the game. So knight here, c2, knight h4, queen e3, rook e6. Nippon actually prepared the rook on the g file. Suddenly it is black, not white, who had the initiative in the king side. Why? Take here is still wrong due to this one, right? Rook g2 here looks very strong too, and white is in a world of trouble. If not here, there's no good way to prevent rook g8 and go for this one. In the game, it was play f4, d3, bring the queen to attacking in this diagonal, but queen e7. Now, black bring the queen to g5, bring the rook here and then here, and slowly attack white. Somehow, it is not so clear now what can white do, right? And all of a sudden here, black takes over the initiatives. e1, queen g5, c4. Honestly speaking, so it is not too easy for him, right? He need to have gotta play at own cost. So that's why I need to open up something here. That's why this one can be understandable. dc4? Understandable again, I don't know. Obviously, I think he doesn't want to see white trying to take here, for instance. I think rook c8 here can be played. Nepomniachtchi also mentioned this move here in the press interview, but I mean like after here, so here and here maybe, and black is doing okay too. But I think that dc4 is even better. The thing is that queen c4 is bad due to knight f3 wins material, right? And here and then here, and the knight is also trapped. So in the game, queen c3, b5. Black is a clean pawn up, and attack here still happens. d5 allow e5, and it doesn't do any special things. a4, b4. I don't know why that was played though. Like while watching the game, I think the most natural option here is like a6, right? and take here, and the positions still remain the same. Rook a1 is also scary due to something like, I think, queen e5 checks, when I think it is kind of over right away, right? So I have no way open up the thing. Even b3 here doesn't look good due to, like, you know, just queen d5 again, or even rook here, you know, I think like rook c8 and like face no trouble. Second g6 is always impossible due to that the knight is hanging at h5. In the game, b4, queen c4. So now I think knight 3 is the main ideas here, but I guess it requires very accurate play. Here, for instance, right? Now it looks quite scary. Knight a1, only way. Queen a8, rook g8, and queen e4 stays here, and then queen d5 maybe. I mean here as well, I don't know. But it is obviously not easy to be, you know, fighting everything here. Rook a8. So this one I would say is understandable since black just continues plan, right? But sometimes in chess, I would say one of the hardest thing to do is that you know when to change your plan if needed, and sometimes the operation change, the nature of operation now doesn't stay the same anymore, so somehow you need to find something else. That's why here Rook doesn't really work anymore. Queen here, this actually is not easy. Bishop here is what the engine preferred. Take here, so play here, and somehow bishop here got d5, which is, I mean, give you a very strong pawns. But I don't know, I mean, even here and then here, so it should still be a draw. But as I mentioned earlier, Ding doesn't want to draw. Queen c6 was play, taking the bishop and transfer the queen to e4 if needed. So here the engine found knight fire, you know, which is actually a quite difficult to be spot. f5 here took with the e pawn, I think so. So here, oops, doing that. Say e5 here, I think so here. So queen f3 and like allow here and then go here maybe. And I think that looks decisive. Somehow the idea here is just like knight e4 for instance, or even queen h4, right? And it's not so easy here to defend the things. So for instance, I will show you this line: rook d1, queen h4, queen f3, and knight g3. So this is a must right now, which crop exchange, right? And here is even a mate in one. So in the game, instead of that, the opponent actually play much faster, but also a wrong move. Should be it. 2 question mark for the engine. Once again, not so easy. So here there is a very beautiful line here that was spotted by the commentators, but it's not so easy. Just here, and d5 exclamation mark, which is certainly missed by both players. Take here doesn't look so strong due to just simply this is right, and then here, and white somehow is the one who get in first, which is very surprising, right? If you play e5 here, the knight escapes. e5 is the same as well, and somehow it is white who won, not black. In the game, queen b7, stubbornly harassing the black's defenders. Rook a6. Once again, stubbornly stubbornly following the plan. But now this suddenly is a bit too slow. f5 is the plan, right? But somehow that can be covered, and somehow black is in time to create anything special. Bishop e4. Now things are covered, right? f5 doesn't work here due to just like gf5 and g5 is open, right? And black is slow. In the game, ref it. The opponent actually realized why, I mean, his plan go wrong. This is a bit slow, and he just came back here to prepare f5. But sadly, once again, this is another mistake. I think f3 can be a thing. Open up the bishop here. So bishop f3 allow like queen d2, and then there can be some very annoying attack here by black. Queen f7, I don't know. Something like knight g2, and it will lead to, I think, like immense and crazy complications. In game e4. With it. Before here, to the pawn, why not? With tempo. Queen d8. Queen c3. Knight e6. Okay. Get a queen for the queen and get here. G2 here, defend a pawn. With short. E2, defend a pawn here. And then at this point, I believe they had like 40 minutes. On the pawn actually, I think around 19 minutes on the clock. And here, he made a move that I think it will go down to history as one of the worst blunder in the World Championship matches. In fact, it's just hard to explain why I play this move. Here, I think you can play like maybe the Queen G5, some slow play, or maybe like Bishop here again. And I think it's still very complex. Although it's down a pawn, but there are also some kind of pressure, right? But then F5, two question mark here. It's hard to understand why this was played. And after this was played, I think if the valuation bar just like go up, like right away, which is understandable, and somehow everybody was in total shock. I think if it didn't ran, things seems to the pawn here, and Black's Persian collapse. I think it's that now defines the thing, right? And I don't know what information missed, but there are no there are no F3, right? Let's say D5 here, for instance. Here, so takes and like King H2, and then once again they finish, and the win is close. Let's take a look at this square, right? Which is a maiden square here. Like, need to be very careful about. I mean, FG4 also D5, right? And Bishop E5 here again, so takes. And then this one also is reasonable. I don't even see anything else. Like, I'm trying to show you guys some more lines, but I don't even see that. So in the game, H5 here was played. Now I think the opponent she sat down to his chair, realized what's going on, and he was in tilt, I think so. But okay, I will explain things after showing you all the moves. H5 here, takes, H5, D5, and D6. So, the opponent should resign here. It's understandable. Now he get no other threats, and this one coming next. And the king on G8. Not the king H1 is the weakness. And in the game, he resigned. A very dramatic game and full of twists and turns, right? What I can say here is that in this game, so at first, the opening phase is not as, I think, success for Ding, who failed to surprise Nepomniachtchi. He got prepared, and obviously he played a very good line and allowed him to take over the initiatives. In the middle game, I think like with the ideas to go for like on the G5, right? Got upper hand. Let's say here for instance, and like here, let's say here, and DC4, and then like B5 here. I think he's fine. But then all of a sudden, Ding went for Desperados, and it worked somehow, isn't it? What I can say is that the thing here, once again, that is Nepomniachtchi's fault, is that he sometimes just makes the moves very, very quickly. It's the most important thing, and that is not an easy thing at all. Not only in this game, but I think in game 4 earlier with the knight d4 move, right? That is, I mean, a very bad mistake, and that kind of thing allowed things to go very, very wrong. And apparently, that's why somehow here he blundered the game. And obviously, if he can win the game here, right? I think he will be 2 points up in the last 2 games, and it's will be over. But now, 2 games left. Tomorrow, game 13, and there's no rest day at all. So Nepomniachtchi must try to come back from a very tilted and a bad loss, right? And now I think momentum shifts to the red. In terms of quality, I will not say that the game is very, very in high quality or something that like players will play very precisely, but it is definitely very, very fascinating and fun to watch, right? I think not only me, but you guys also as well. We both enjoy the match and enjoy what's going on. So only 2 games. Obviously, this match I think will go down to history of chess. One of the best match ever in World Championships. I think so. this is the game review and the accuracy of the players. Nepomniachtchi got one brilliant move, but he got two blunders, which I think is also blundering his game away. Hopefully, they can still keep their composure and can still provide us some more entertaining and great fight. And we'll come back obviously with the recap of game 13, right? We'll see you later on. Good luck for both players and have fun and enjoy, guys. Peace.